sharing with Ukraine. And in sports, FIFA to give $1 billion as Europe nears a Club World Cup deal. The details after the break.
The News at Noon teasers were brought to you by Anybet, your best bet. The Midday News is brought to you by Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
Now to the details. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has promised further assistance to Central Kingston residents whose homes were lost to fire last month. Dr. Holness toured the communities affected on Tuesday and asked for patience from the affected residents.
Let me assure you that we are going to assist those persons who have been displaced by the fire. We're going to try and do it as quickly as possible. But it is not something that can happen overnight. Before we can assist in any meaningful way other than the humanitarian assistance, which is already in train, the building assistance, we have to determine the ownership of the land. That's number one. And then we have to do some social investigation into the circumstances of the persons to determine the extent to which we can help. All of that we are going to put into train to ensure that we can help the persons dislocated to come back to some form of normalcy.
A major fire on Fleet Street and Lad Lane in central Kingston left more than 50 people homeless. Prime Minister Holness says ownership of the various properties must be established before they proceed.
We cannot build on property that we don't know who owns it. We can't just go onto people's property and build. So we have to establish ownership. Once ownership is established, then we can determine what we can do, whether it is to replace a building or to give a grant. Now, for those persons who are living on property that they don't own or don't have the title to, then we still will help, but we will help you maybe with building material or some other form of assistance. But we cannot build on land that is not our land or we don't have the rights to build on. That's just the reality of the situation. So understand from the Member of Parliament that the land situation is being assessed, that they do have titles and permission. And so for those that they don't have the title or they know who the owners are, then we will seek to get permission from the owners to build.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. 2 men have been arrested for impersonating police personnel and illegal possession of a prohibited weapon. The arrest occurred on Monday on Barbican Road in St. Andrew. Police reports are that sometime after 4 p.m., members of the JCF's Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, observed a Toyota Axio with blue flashing lights being driven recklessly. The PSTEB personnel signaled the driver of the Axio to stop. He complied and exited the vehicle. The driver was reportedly dressed in attire resembling a police uniform. This included a JCF-branded baseball hat, a black long-sleeve shirt, and a less lethal belt with the Force's RCB baton. The man also had a handcuff pouch and a bulge at his waist. When questioned, he stated that he was a member of the JCF working in the Spanish Town area in St. Catherine, but he failed to provide any identification to substantiate that claim. A check of the vehicle's registration through the traffic ticket management system indicated that it was not registered to the Commissioner of Police. The police say a further search revealed an imitation pistol concealed in his waistband. The vehicle and the other occupant were then searched. Both men were arrested. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Now, the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, JA-CERT, has issued a critical alert regarding the emergence of FOG ransomware, a new and highly sophisticated cyber threat. FOG, a malicious cyber attack, aims to encrypt data and demand ransom payments from impacted entities. This is putting organizations across multiple sectors at risk of severe operational and financial disruption. With the severity level deemed critical, businesses now face an increased risk of data loss and operational paralysis. Meanwhile, Director of Cyber and Information Security at Simtai Consulting Limited, Rory Ebanks, is cautioning Jamaicans against the escalating ransomware crisis. In a statement on Tuesday, he revealed that FOG ransomware has already compromised approximately 145 victims globally. This includes organizations within the Caribbean. Mr. Ebanks says beyond encryption and ransom demands, cybercriminals now use artificial intelligence to identify and extract an organization's most sensitive data before locking them out entirely. This new level of strategic infiltration means that recovery is not just about paying a ransom, but about mitigating long-term damage. Even with backups, Mr. Ebanks highlighted that attackers are now taking an extra step by encrypting or deleting backups themselves to cripple recovery efforts. Director of JCERT, Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling, similarly reinforced the urgency of proactive cybersecurity measures. He emphasized that businesses must prioritize vulnerability management, as unprotected system weaknesses are often the primary entry points for cybercriminals. Minister of Culture and Gender Olivia Babsy-Grange has announced the members of the Sexual Harassment Tribunal. The 14-member tribunal will have the authority to hear complaints and resolve disputes related to the Sexual Harassment Protection and Prevention Act. The groundbreaking legislation came into force on July 3, 2023. Minister Grange made the announcement at the post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House on Tuesday, noting that the Sexual Harassment Tribunal will be chaired by the retired Court of Appeal Judge Ferdinand Algernon Smith. He will have two deputies, Indira Prasad and Karen Campbell-Basco. The other members of the tribunal are Kadria Folks, Debbie Ann Brown-Salmon, Camille Lee, Karen Thompson-Wilson, Claire Pamela Miller, Kevil Campbell, Donald Roberts, Shanique Rose Clacken, Junior A. Latibaudiere, Dr. Merrick Dale Walker, and Reverend Dr. Devon Merrick Dick. Minister Grange said all workplaces in Jamaica should by now have their sexual harassment policies in place. The policies must be brought to the attention of each worker, client, student, resident, ward, and others as the case may require. Workplaces that fail to implement the policy could face sanctions. In regional and international news now, regional Loop News Caribbean is reporting that Emmeline Pierre has been formally appointed as the leader of the opposition in Grenada, succeeding Dr. Keith Mitchell. Mitchell took on the role of opposition leader after the 2022 election and has now transitioned out of that position. The new National Party's NNP was defeated in the June 2022 general election, where the party lost to Deacon Mitchell's National Democratic Congress with a 9-6 margin. Pierre received her instrument of appointment in a ceremony, which she briefly described on Facebook. In her post on Facebook, Pierre extended apologies to her family, close friends, and supporters, noting that since she had no prior notice, she was unable to notify or invite persons to the ceremony. In international, U.S. officials have confirmed that President Trump has suspended intelligence sharing with Ukraine on top of the pause in military assistance. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says the U.S. has taken a step back and is pausing and reviewing all aspects of the relationship with Ukraine. The move follows Friday's fiery Oval Office meeting between the U.S. president and his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky. The Ukrainian president has since taken steps to repair relations, and Waltz has said that Trump would be open to lifting the freeze if peace talks progress. However, according to a BBC correspondent, the decision to halt intelligence support is likely to have serious consequences on the battlefield. And now for sports, FIFA is set to give more than $1 billion in revenue to clubs participating in the Club World Cup. This as the European Club Association ECA, negotiating on behalf of clubs in Europe, including Chelsea and Manchester City, close in on a deal. Multiple sources have confirmed to BBC Sport that the 32 clubs involved, including 12 European clubs, will split what FIFA expects will be the biggest revenue ever for a club football tournament. It is partly based on the $1 billion exclusive global TV deal agreed with the sports streaming service DAZN in December. The inaugural tournament, taking place in the U.S., begins on June 14 and finishes with the final in New Jersey on July 13. On an individual club basis, those involved will receive a participation fee for entering the group stage and performance fees based on progression to later rounds. Multiple senior sources have explained that FIFA and the ECA are also in talks about bringing in substantial solidarity payments for non-participating clubs, which is expected to be followed by similar distributions for clubs in Africa, Asia, and the Americas at a later date. To recap our top stories making the nationwide world at noon, further assistance on the way for residents of central Kingston whose homes were lost to fire last month. Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team issues critical alert following the emergence of a new and highly sophisticated ransomware threat. And in regional, Emmeline Pierre has been formally appointed as the leader of the opposition in Grenada. International, U.S. pauses intelligence sharing with Ukraine. I'm Tawna Thomas. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. Major news next at 5.
The Midday News was brought to you by Total Tools. Every tool, every trade. Success powered by learning. The Time brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
12:12 p.m.
Why eat other snacks when sunshine has the best for you? Nature's best buns are crunchy. The flavor that sings to you. Salted banana and plantain. Taste the freshness, naturally sweet. The flavor that sings to you.
Ayo, nature's best bunch.
Revamp your space with Unique Living sleek fixed and sliding shower panels, shower systems and faucets, stylish vanities, LED and non-LED mirrors, basins and kitchen sinks, closet and storage solutions, hanging aids, and more. Available in different finishes and sizes to match your style. Transform your space and visit us today at shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10. Call us at 876-755-3661 or visit our website at uniquelivingja.com to shop.
It's electric.
Celebrate World Energy Efficiency Day with Nationwide 90 FM on March 6 and 7. Join us as we explore simple ways to save energy, reduce costs, and protect our planet during the E-Zone 3 to 5 p.m. on March 6. Then Nationwide this morning from 6 to 9 a.m. on March 7. We've got insights and practical advice that can and will help you make a difference. From businesses to households, everyone plays a part in building a sustainable future. When you save money on your energy bill, you also save the planet. Save money, save power, save the future. That's World Energy Efficiency Day during the E-Zone 3 to 5 p.m. on March 6. Then Nationwide this morning from 6 to 9 a.m. on March 7. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Brought to you by the National Land Agency and the Jamaica Public Service.